So I just want to ask you three very quick questions, and then after we
Okay.
get these questions, we'll move on and bring some of your students, former students, in to talk to us. How does that sound? So, Kim, number one, let me ask you, what is a medical assistant?
See, a lot of people are not familiar with what an MA does. An MA has a lot of the same skills as nursing. For example, MAs draw blood, do phlebotomy, venipuncture for lab draws. MAs do injections, so they can give medications by injection. They can do EKGs, Foley catheters, take your vital signs. They might be the student that hooks you up for an EEG, or they might be the student that hooks you up for spirometry testing, or they have a lot of skills. And they typically work in a medical office or an urgent care facility. I've had some students do some very unique jobs. For example, several years ago, I had a student work for a donor services, and they did tissue retrieval when someone would donate their tissue when they passed away. That was an amazing job, and they got paid really well. But that's an odd job that most MAs don't do. But most MAs work in like an ambulatory care center, and they work in that capacity where they're the doctor's right hand person. You know, they're going to take the patient back, get their vital signs. They're going to stay with the patient throughout that process and be a patient advocate. They're going to be the person that does the EKG, that draws the patient's blood, that comes back and gives that patient their injection of steroids or antibiotics. A variety of settings, and they work in a lot of different specialty areas too.
Good deal. That's great to hear. A lot of people hear medical assisting, but they never know truly what they do or where they work. How long
Right.
does it usually take to become a medical assistant?
It's a 2-semester program, so we start in August and they graduate in May. We have kept their program at 9 months because of my advisory board committee, which is made up of all the healthcare organizations in our area. They did not want us to shorten the program because they want the students prepared to work in the workplace. And our program has a 160-hour clinical component in with it, which again, the healthcare organizations in our area wanted that kept as part of the program. Plus, for the RMA, that's a requirement. So my students at the end of once they went through their competencies for all of their skills, the very last month of the program, they do a 160-hour internship in a doctor's office where they apply their skills. So again, we've kept our program at 9 months. We haven't shortened it due to the healthcare organization's request in our area because we put out a good product. A lot of doctors' offices call me for my students before they even post jobs because they know we put out a good product. So, they're prepared for the workplace when they get done.
That's wonderful. And I know you touched on it a bit as we've been talking, but just tell us one more time where most of your students end up working, what type of healthcare area.
Okay, they usually work in physicians' offices, and that's any physician offices. I have students that work in internal medicine, cardiac, neurology, nephrology, oncology. They work in mostly ambulatory care or physician offices, but I do have students that also work in urgent cares. And then I have students that work in labs. My students can sit for more than one credential, so they sit for their medical assisting credential, but they can also sit for their CPT, which is a certified phlebotomy tech. So I do have students working in labs as well.